What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? It's Dan here from Cryonoir, and welcome to part 24 of my game making journey. And yeah, what a long journey it has been, clearly, if we're on part 24. So yeah, I guess let's just jump straight into it. After finishing the vertical shooter, I was pretty stoked about working in Unity. I don't really know how to explain it. I'd really gelled with GameMaker 1.4 and I loved the workflow, but I was always conscious of the engine's limitations. After working in Unity for just a short time, I felt like the complication had increased by 30% over GameMaker, but the potential had increased by 500%, whilst retaining the same sort of workflow. I was really looking forward to the next part of Jonathan's ultimate guide to game development with Unity. The first step was to import the pre-built level into Unity. This was pretty straightforward as it was pretty much already set up. I have to admit I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get to build the level from scratch. I kinda hoped we'd get a shed load of static meshes and we'd get to build the level from its component parts, though I guess that would have added a significant amount to the length of the course. The next step was to adjust the lighting of the scene by adding lights to the neon signs and sorting out the global illumination. In his version, Jonathan had given the level a very dry, hot day in the desert feel, a bit like a market in Tatooine. However, I wanted to give the level a different feel. I wanted to do a night scene, as though the daytime heat had subsided and given way to the cool nighttime desert breeze. I think I achieved it quite well, giving the scene a completely different feel, especially once a new skybox was added. We then began with the player's controls by adding a camera and a player object that we could control. At first just along one axis, and then in 3 dimensions. We then attached the camera to the player object, and that was the WASD part of the movement in place. Now we could see what it was like from the player's point of view when he fell through the floor. All that was needed now was to set up the mouse look, and we had the movement system in place. It took a bit of tweaking to get the mouse sensitivity playing ball, but once it was in, the movement system was really starting to take shape. Next up, we added some boundaries to stop the player walking off the edge of the level and plummeting to their doom. It had to be said, this was done in a completely different way to how I was expecting. I was expecting to put up collision barriers to wall off the area, but instead we used a kind of walkable path area. Apparently this way you can set it up so that NPCs don't get lost when moving around the environment. Once we added a gun and removed the mouse cursor, it was really starting to feel more and more like a legit game. It was then time to implement something that was completely out of my field of experience: raycasting. We set it up so that when the player pressed the left mouse button, it would fire an invisible ray out from the player through the centre of the screen and on until it hit something. It would then return a description of what it had hit, so long as the object was already tagged within the engine. With this code in place, we could code what action was to be taken depending on what was hit, and polish it all up to make it look shiny. The first part was to add a particle effect and a muzzle flash. The muzzle flash was really cool, but I gotta say, I wasn't totally sold on the particle effect. I kinda felt that if a laser rifle had that much spread on it, no one would ever use it. We then applied a particle effect whenever the raycast indicated that it had hit an object that had been tagged. As not everything was tagged, this led to some interesting results, but the overall impression was there. A ridiculously cool sound effect was next, followed by an ammo limit and reload mechanic. The slight problem here was that the ammo usage was tied to the frame rate of the game. That meant that my laser seemed to get through a 50-round clip in a split second. A quick fix for this would have been to alter the speed in which the game reduced the ammo variable, or we could be a baller and just give the clip 500 rounds. A UI element later and the firing mechanics were all set up. The next big section was adding a shop mechanic to the game, with the idea that the player would have to buy the gun first before going all Columbine. We set up a collectible coin with a sound effect, some polish to make it look as though the coin was sparkling, and another UI element to show once it had been collected, and we were almost there. All that remained was to add a check to the Sharkman's collision to see if the player had the coin, and another chunk was done. If the player didn't have the coin, the shark quoted back a Michael Jackson song, and if the player did have the coin, it would remove it from the player's inventory and play another sound effect. Finally, we just had to tie this all in to if the gun was active or not, and the trading mechanic was finished. As a final bit of interactivity, there was a destructible box to add. This was almost identical to how you would do it in GameMaker, with the old switcheroo from a complete box object to a broken box object. The initial setup did not react well to rapid fire, resulting in my first Unity crash to desktop. Still, I can't really blame it. Once we had set it up to delete the initial box rather than just spawn broken box after broken box, it fixed the problem immediately. I also gave the box prefab a rigid body component and made them affected by gravity, so I could then play around with the boxes in a stack. Fun with physics is a Unity staple after all. All that was left was to add the background audio to create some atmosphere and then play around with some post-processing, and we were done. The final result might have a few issues with the lighting, but on the whole, I think it looks pretty damn good. As this was just a quick pass with the post-processing, I'm sure the lighting issues could be ironed out with a bit of time and patience, but that wasn't really the main focus of this project. It was more to give you a starting point with the engine and to show you some of the techniques used within Unity development, and on that front, this course was a great success. I really enjoyed this course and feel much more confident with Unity now. I'm still a way off from starting my own projects, but I'm definitely a few steps further down the road. The question is, now do I do another Unity tutorial and keep up the momentum, or start to get to grips with some 3D modelling and animation? Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit the like, comment and subscribe if you did. It really helps the channel out a bunch. I'm slowly but surely crawling my way towards 200 subscribers. So, you know, thank you very much for everyone, and thanks to all the new subscribers and the old subscribers. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying this game making journey. They're not coming as thick and as fast as they have been done historically, because I literally finished this tutorial on Tuesday. I wrote the script on Wednesday, recording the audio on Thursday. I'm editing on Thursday night and Friday night, and then Saturday I'll be doing some more work ready to upload this for Sunday. So, you know, I'm now going to start another tutorial and work my way through it. So that's why I end up doing sort of random videos for weeks and weeks on end until like I've got, you know, another tutorial done. And as I say, I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do next, whether I'm going to do another Unity one or whether I'm going to jump into Blender and try and get some 3D animation sorted. But has to be said, I'm more than happy with Unity. I'm really enjoying working with it, and if anything, I just kind of feel, you know, I wish I'd gone into Unity in the first place rather than going into Game Maker. Not that there's anything wrong with Game Maker, but I would already be, you know, sort of quite a bit further ahead than I am now. But hey ho, them's the breaks. So, but anyway, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, comment and subscribe. The subscribe specifically, hypodermically, whatever, just hit the subscribe. Thank you very much, guys, and take it easy. I will see you very soon. Cheerio now. Bye bye.